Have you ever wondered why you get headaches, swell up, and feel drained of energy? What if the problem isn't your age, like doctors often say? What if your constant swelling and chronic fatigue are just your body's way of protecting itself? Today, you'll learn why, and you'll understand that the first thing you need to detox isn't your liver or intestines, but your lymph. After 50, swelling, weight gain, and weakness often appear when the lymphatic system can't keep up. Today you'll find out why your lymphs get stagnant and polluted, and how to cleanse and activate it. Doctors don't talk about this, even though they know the lymphatic system can get clogged, just like the plumbing in your house. But we found an expert who agreed to explain why doctors ignore lymph health in the elderly, and how to get rid of chronic swelling for good. Watch us till the end, and you'll discover why and how should you detox your lymphatic system. What is the body protecting itself from through swelling? Why does lymph stagnate? How can you stimulate it? And what mistakes are preventing you from doing that? What kind of water helps fight fatigue? How can you flush out 2 liters of excess fluid from your tissues in just half an hour? What did the Chinese come up with to activate lymph flow? Why are our doctors against lymphatic drainage massage? How can you eliminate chronic swelling for good? You may have heard lymph called the second blood. But did you know your lymphatic system filters about 2 liters of your blood every day? And if it were to stop working, you wouldn't live for more than 24 hours. Why? Because without proper filtration and pathogen removal, the body would go into toxic shock, and that could be fatal in just 1 day. Luckily, as long as the lymphatic system is working at least partially, this doesn't happen. Still, our bodies take toxic hits almost daily, because with age, the lymphatic system performs worse and worse. Here's what happens when your lymph isn't working properly. Toxic fluids stay in the tissues, causing swelling, inflammation, and skin problems. The cardiovascular and digestive systems also suffer. And most importantly, your immunity drops. You become vulnerable to viruses, bacteria, and chronic diseases that wear out your body and shorten your lifespan. The lymphatic system is essentially the body's sewage system, where toxins, waste products, and excess fluids from tissues are drained. But it's also your cleaning system that protects you from infections. That's right, 80% of your immune system depends on your lymph health. Didn't know that? Give our video a like. Look, the human body has between 500 and 700 lymph nodes. These are like inspection stations that act as filters, cleaning the lymph and destroying pathogens. They contain immune cells that actively fight infections. That's why lymph nodes swell when you're sick. And if your lymph system is overloaded, you get sick more often. And your swelling? It's nothing more than a natural defense mechanism against toxins, infections, and inflammation. Watch this. When inflammation arises due to infection, certain cells release special substances. These substances increase the permeability of vessels so that fluid and immune cells can pass through. As a result, fluid with immune cells gathers in the affected area, and that helps healing. Swelling can also occur during allergic reactions, when the body releases histamine in response to an allergen. Histamine also increases the permeability of blood vessels, causing fluid to accumulate in tissues. That's why someone looks so swollen after a bee sting. But here's the key. If you're experiencing swelling without any allergens or inflammation, it means your lymphatic system is not handling fluid drainage. So, what are you doing wrong? Why does your lymph stagnate? Let's start with the simplest and most obvious cause. You might not be moving enough. Unlike the circulatory system, the lymphatic system has no heart to pump it. Lymph moves only when your muscles contract. And that's an important fact we often forget. But here's something even more surprising. Lymph moves very slowly, at a speed of about 1 to 2 centimeters per hour. Even a snail moves faster. It covers that distance in a minute. Can you believe it? Another interesting fact. Lymph flow depends not only on muscle movement, but also on your heartbeat and even your breathing. That's why to keep lymph moving, you need both physical activity and deep, proper breathing, not shallow. In fact, science still hasn't fully figured out how lymph flows. Doctors and researchers can't explain why lymph continues to move for a while after death when a person is no longer breathing or pumping blood. It's still a mystery. But one thing is certain. Regular physical activity, movements, and special exercises, which I'll talk about soon, can activate your lymph. But here's the catch. After intense exercise, swelling might not disappear. It might appear. That's because muscles can retain fluid. Here's why. When we work out, our muscles need more oxygen and nutrients. To deliver them, blood vessels dilate, increasing blood flow. As a result, some fluids seep into the surrounding tissues, causing puffiness. And if your lymphatic system isn't functioning well and the workout was too intense, it won't be able to handle the extra fluid. That leads to swelling. So what now? We don't move, we swell. And we move, and we swell too? There's already a solution. Physical activity should be regular and appropriate for your age. Walking non-stop for 5 hours once a week isn't the answer. But walking for at least half an hour every day, that's a smart move. Even a simple walk in the park helps your lymph flow. Curious about other ways to stimulate lymph flow? The Chinese use a self-patting method, working from bottom to top. We've talked about this on our channel before, and yes, it really works. But are there other ways to activate lymph? Let's ask an expert. Today's guest, phlebotomist and chief physician at a clinic in St. Petersburg, Artem Alexandrovich Miroshnichenko. Lymphatic flow is stimulated by physical activity. This includes lunges, stretching, and slow, steady, cyclical movements lasting 1 to 3 minutes. There is a Chinese method of self-patting, but I am categorically opposed to it. Patting doesn't physically stimulate lymphatic outflow. Instead, it can cause venous congestion and lead to the appearance of spider veins. I would recommend smooth, even physical exercises for 1 to 3 minutes. Surely many of you have heard about dry brushing. It's believed that brushing and circular motions from the extremities toward the heart can boost lymph flow. But does it really help? Let's find out. It's ineffective because it only affects the skin's surface. Lymph is located deeper, and brushing only creates imbalances in the soft tissues, which can lead to the development of reticular varicose veins. Lymphatic drainage massage is recommended only by professionals and must follow the natural direction of lymph flow. But what massage technique would you recommend for home use to stimulate lymph flow and reduce swelling? I recommend lymphatic drainage massage because when there is venous or lymphatic stagnation, stimulating lymph flow plays a major role. It's necessary to perform manual massage from the feet toward the heart, from the hands toward the heart, and from the head toward the heart. These are the techniques that allow for effective manual lymph drainage. There's also pressotherapy, an instrument-based massage with the same principle of action. Interestingly, from the perspective of evidence-based medicine, the effectiveness of lymphatic drainage massage has not been confirmed. There are no studies showing what actually happens to the lymph after such a massage. However, there are studies proving that lymphatic flow depends on body position. You'll be surprised to learn that even simple head turns help fluid drain more efficiently from the brain and reduce facial puffiness. And arm movements in front of you, like the motion of closing subway doors, help lymph keep moving past the underarms, preventing stagnation. One of the most popular yoga poses, downward facing dog, generally improves fluid circulation. Just be careful. Avoid sudden movements, especially when returning to a standing position. And if you have blood pressure issues, it's better to start with gentler exercises. Let's do a simple and safe lymph-activating exercise right now. Take a deep breath, raise your arms up, and hold your breath for 5 seconds. Then exhale and drop your arms sharply. Repeat 5 times. We've gathered this and other exercises for stimulating lymph flow in a helpful guide. Right now you're about to learn the common mistakes that block lymph flow. But first, tell us, do you use antiperspirants? Yes, those products used under the arms to block sweat glands and avoid sweating in public. If you do, your lymph might be in danger. It turns out that lymph stagnation in the body can be caused by antiperspirants. Their use blocks sweat glands and interferes with the natural elimination of toxins through sweat. This can overload the lymph nodes in the chest area, especially if your lymph flow is already compromised. So think twice about whether you really need these products. But this isn't the worst mistake. The next ones are even more serious. Take a look at the screen. This is what a fatty heart looks like. And this, a fatty liver. So what does this have to do with lymph? The point is, when you're overweight, fat accumulates not only under your skin, but also around your internal organs. This fat presses on the lymphatic vessels and interferes with their ability to remove excess fluid and toxins from tissues. It literally slows down lymphatic flow. On top of that, fat tissues produce various substances that can cause inflammation and worsen lymphatic health. And this creates a vicious cycle. The more fat you have, the more inflammation occurs, and the harder it becomes for the lymphatic system to do its job, leading to more swelling and weight gain. So if you want to improve lymph flow, the first thing to address is excess weight. Easier said than done, but how? Try to manage your weight. It's not easy, but even small changes in your diet and regular physical activity can be a great start. And remember, every step toward better health is already a victory. Now let's talk about nutrition. If your diet is mostly salty and fatty foods with barely any fiber, your lymph flows like an old car on a highway. Slow and inefficient. That puts extra strain on your kidneys and can lead to swelling. Poor diet is another mistake, one you can fix easily. How? Start by diversifying your meals. Add more vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. Start with small changes. Simply put more protein and less carbohydrates on your plate. By the way, it's especially important for older adults to get enough protein to avoid losing muscle. And of course, include strength training. It helps maintain muscle mass and supports lymph flow. Look at the screen. In 5 or 10 years, you could look like this, or this. It's your choice. But I must remind you, excessive workouts and crash diets are unacceptable. Also, low-calorie foods deprive the lymph of the nutrients it needs to function properly. That's a fact. So, are there any special foods that help cleanse or stimulate the lymph? Let's ask the expert. There is a belief that carrots, garlic, and vitamin C-rich foods stimulate lymph flow. That's a myth. The lymphatic system is not directly influenced by nutrition. We've clarified things with foods, But what about supplements? Pharmacies offer a huge variety of drainage and lymph support supplements that claim to reduce swelling and improve lymph flow. Let's see what our expert thinks about supplements. My opinion on dietary supplements is neutral. This belongs to alternative medicine. Certified medical professionals trust proven, evidence-based methods. As our experts have shown, opinions vary among evidence-based doctors. Some believe supplements can be beneficial and allow their use. Others are firmly against them. So what should we do? Take them or not? What do you think? Share your opinion in the comments right now. And now I'll tell you what kind of water can save you from chronic fatigue. Many of us experience chronic fatigue as an unpleasant bonus to lymphatic swelling, when we feel drained of energy without any apparent reason. You slept well, didn't overwork yourself the day before, yet you still feel like a dead battery. This happens because your lymphatic system is overloaded. As I mentioned earlier, when it can't keep up with the load, toxins accumulate. These toxins disrupt metabolism and interfere with energy production in your cells. That's why you feel weak. What can help? Water. Which kind? The most basic, plain water. Lymph is 95% water, and its flow directly depends on how much you drink. Drink too little, and your lymph thickens and slows down. What should you do? I think you already know. Drink water. By the way, headaches often go away after drinking a glass of clean water. Why? When lymph stagnates, toxins remain in the tissues and irritate nerve endings, which causes the pain. Water flushes out the toxins, and the headache disappears. In addition to water, it's also recommended to drink teas that help reduce swelling. A great tea for boosting lymph flow and reducing swelling is sea buckthorn and raspberry tea. To make it, take 1 tablespoon each of sea buckthorn and raspberry. Dried is fine. Steep in a large cup of boiling water and let it infuse for 15 minutes. Once cooled or warm, add honey. Remember, honey loses its beneficial properties at high temperatures. Drink 1 to 2 times a day. The tea not only strengthens your immune system, but also helps reduce swelling. Here's another recipe for a refreshing cold tea from my grandmother. Take 1 liter of cold water, the juice and zest of 1 lemon, 1 teaspoon of freshly grated ginger, and 1 tablespoon of honey. Mix it all and leave it in the fridge overnight. Enjoy it the next day. This drink helps reduce swelling, improves metabolism, and supports lymph cleansing. Do you have a recipe for reducing lymphatic swelling? Share it in the comments if it worked for you. Also, let us know what health topics you're interested in and write your question to our experts. They'll answer them in upcoming videos. And now, let's learn how to cleanse the lymphatic system. But first, why cleanse it at all? Remember, lymph deals with toxins. Cleansing your lymph helps improve skin health, restore digestion, normalize fluid salt balance, and even eliminate body odor. It turns out that body odor in older age may result from lymphatic system dysfunction. But there are other reasons too. We talked about them in our video about sweat, worth checking out. Also, we have an upcoming episode about intestinal gas with a very interesting expert. To make sure you don't miss the expert's advice, subscribe to the channel and be sure to click the bell next to the subscribe button, then select all. That way, you'll get notifications and won't miss the new episode. Let's continue. You can cleanse your lymphatic system with simple, accessible remedies like herbs and sorbents. Let's break down how. Let's start with licorice root and red clover. Licorice helps thin the lymph and improve its flow. Just brew 1 teaspoon of licorice root in a cup of boiling water and drink it in the morning on an empty stomach. Red clover stimulates lymphatic flow and helps open pores, enhancing sweating. Brew 1 teaspoon of red clover flowers in a cup of hot water and enjoy the tea. Another lymph cleansing remedy many remember from childhood, usually for coughs. Recognize it? Licorice and black radish. You'll need 1 teaspoon of crushed licorice root, half a glass of fresh black radish juice. Instructions: brew the licorice in a cup of boiling water and let it steep for 15 minutes. Then mix the resulting infusion with the radish juice. How to use it? Drink it on an empty stomach each morning for 10 days. It helps thin and stimulate lymph flow. A nettle and horsetail decoction strengthens lymph vessels and helps remove toxins. You'll need 1 tablespoon dried nettle, 1 tablespoon field horsetail, 500 milliliters boiling water. Pour boiling water over the herbs and let steep for 20 minutes. Drink half a cup twice a day for 2 weeks. This decoction strengthens lymph vessels and aids detoxification. Looking for something both healthy and tasty? Try my favorite, a pumpkin smoothie for a light lymph. This vibrant and flavorful drink will give you a boost of energy and vitality. You'll need 200 grams of fresh pumpkin, about 1.5 cups chopped, 1 juicy apple, a pinch of turmeric, 1 glass of water. Put all ingredients in a blender and blend until smooth. Add the turmeric. This golden spice not only enhances flavor, but also boosts the drink's health benefits. Enjoy it in the morning on an empty stomach. It improves metabolism and acts like an ignition switch for your lymphatic system. You're also advised to drink sorbents to cleanse the lymphatic system. These substances not only help with digestive issues, they can bind and eliminate toxins from the body, thus supporting detoxification. It's believed that combining herbs and sorbents creates a double cleansing effect. Herbs stimulate the lymph system, and sorbents remove the waste. We asked our expert whether this method is effective according to evidence-based medicine. The connection between the lymphatic system and sorbents is poorly studied in science, so I can't give a definite answer. Sorbents act on toxins and remove excess substances through the intestines, but the lymphatic system lies much deeper in the body, so sorbents do not affect it directly. Sometimes a patient goes to a spa, uses the steam room, heats up, gets a massage, pressotherapy, and physiotherapy all in one day. This approach is not advisable. Lymphatic stimulation should be done step by step. You can start with a lymphatic drainage massage. Then, on the next day, undergo physiotherapy, and so on. Don't try to stimulate the lymph all at once with every possible method. What do you think of our expert? Like them? Click the like button. Know a great doctor? Suggest them as a guest expert on our channel. Contact info is in the description. And since we're talking about toxins, which accumulate when lymph is sluggish, let me remind you that chronic stress contributes to their buildup. Stress hormones impair the liver, kidneys, and lymphatic function. We often say on our channel that chronic stress is extremely harmful to health. You've likely noticed it yourself. When you're stressed, lymph flow slows down. If you've had a rough day yesterday, you may struggle to put a ring on your finger in the morning. That's swelling from slowed lymph flow. Try to stress less and sleep more. Lack of sleep is also a form of stress. During sleep, your body recovers, and that includes your lymphatic system. If you don't get enough rest, lymph flow slows down and fluid builds up in tissues. You'll notice it in the form of facial puffiness and low energy in the morning. we recommend finding ways to relax and manage stress to support a healthy lymphatic system. One way to relax is with a contrast shower. But do you know how to do it correctly? Start with warm water, about 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, to prepare the body. Then gradually switch to cold water, about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. The temperature difference should be noticeable but not shocking, around 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. Stand under warm water for 2 to 3 minutes, then switch to cold for 30 seconds to 1 minute. Repeat the cycle 3 to 5 times. Always end with cold water to lock in the effect. However, if cold water is uncomfortable, finish with warm water instead. The most important thing is to listen to your body and enjoy the process. Don't forget to clear your mind and breathe deeply to relax while showering. By the way, alternating hot and cold water every 30 seconds is proven to improve circulation and lymph flow. So you can finish your contrast shower with shorter cycles to really get your lymph moving. And if you do one specific exercise before the shower, your lymph will set a personal record for speed. What exercise is that? I'll tell you at the end of the video. Our expert will also explain when it's time to see a doctor and how to find the right specialist for swelling or lymphatic issues. In some cases, swelling may appear after intense physical exertion or stress. This is normal. However, if the swelling persists for more than 2 to 3 days, you should consult a doctor. You can feel your lymph nodes right now, under the chin, behind the ears, and in the armpits. If you notice swelling or tenderness, it's a red flag and time to book a doctor's appointment. But which specialist deals with lymphatic problems? You should see a lymphologist. Yes, it's a real medical specialty. But such specialists are rare, so most people turn to a phlebologist. However, a phlebologist will help with the symptoms, but may not uncover the root cause of your condition or what's happening in your lymphatic system. You can find a good specialist online, but pay attention to their experience, their specialization, ideally a surgeon or vascular surgeon with additional training in phlebology or lymphology, patient reviews, and the types of cases they treat. Some doctors only deal with the cosmetic aspects, while others can truly get to the root of lymphatic dysfunction. We understand that not everyone can visit a doctor right away, so we asked the expert to give one simple but effective tip. What can you do to eliminate lymphatic swelling for good? We can improve lymphatic drainage in the simplest way: movement, slow walking, squats, pull-ups, abdominal exercises. Any type of slow, monotonous physical activity works well. If you've been sitting for over an hour, walk for 3 to 5 minutes. The same goes for long periods of standing. And at the end of the day, raise your legs up, about a 90-degree angle. Repeat this again before going to bed, while lying down. Listen to our expert. Take care of your body. You only have one, and you can't trade it for another, but you can change its condition. Don't forget that even small lifestyle changes can lead to big results. And you can start transforming your life and caring for your lymphatic system today. Here's a simple exercise I promised to tell you about. Do it right after watching this video. It'll take just 1 minute. Simply stand up and start jumping. Not too high. As they say, no need to overdo it. And if you carry excess weight that puts stress on your knees, instead of jumping, just rise up on your toes and drop down onto your heels a few times. Hold on to something for balance. Jumping in place is an excellent way to stimulate lymph flow. Remember, your lymph moves only when you move, and it clears toxins more easily when you're in a good mood. Stay positive. Set your mindset for a long and happy life, full of joyful moments. Be active. When you move, your lymph moves too, flushing out toxins in return. A healthy lymphatic system means less swelling, more energy, and stronger protection against illness. Try at least one of our tips, and if you truly want to get rid of swelling for good, take your health seriously. That's all for now. Give us a like and subscribe to our channel. And don't miss our helpful videos with new experts. Wishing you health and longevity.